None of these things actually make the promise of romance or sex, and no amount of denial of that is gonna make him think that she hasn't made that promise. I'm Rosa Aiello, and I'm an artist.
Rosa, good to have you here in Frankfurt. The film The Coquette is very close to a short story by Patricia Highsmith. So how important is the selection of the literature format for your films? I mean, is it a strategy that you follow, or?
Well, I had been working with sets in different ways, like the alphabet or the seasons, and somehow when I came across this book, it seemed like an obvious next kind of set to deal with. It's called Little Tales of Misogyny. It's 17 short stories, and each story is some kind of stereotype of femininity invented by the patriarchy or by misogynist perspectives. So there's the breeder, and this woman has 17 children, and she's so happy. She's like blissful. There's the invalid, there's the victim, the perfectionist, the evangelist. So I kind of thought about this book, and that in order for it to actually function the way that the book functions, I had to make more than one story. So usually when I show this film, I show it with some photography works that represent another story. So there's two other pieces I've made, the prude and the victim, that I've shown with the coquette, so that you can see that
there are the stereotypes of women in relation to men.
And it's important that they're put side by side, because they conflict with each other.
What I find very interesting is one level you always have, it's the language and the meaning of language, and how you can, interrupt meaning or even destroy meaning. So sometimes you don't really hear what the people are saying, but you're trying to get it. So also with La Coquette, there are several points where this happens.
So I was trying to think of how to make a film that was kind of being coquettish.
You mean you haven't fucked her?
What? That's just sad, man. That's just sad.
No worries, bro. We're sloppy anyway. Got lots of teeth.
Appearing to make a promise from a certain point of view, and then not following through with what you may have suggested at some point you were going to deliver. So the train sound that blocks out speech often in the film felt like this sort of denial that was a bit coquettish.
She seems to promise something, but in the end she doesn't. And there's at a certain point, I like in the middle of your film, it's about 20 minutes, and after 10 minutes she says, actually, I really don't like you. I mean, he just tells her, oh, I really like you, and he's trying to get his emotions to her, but still you don't sympathize. I mean, I had the feeling I don't sympathize with him.
In the story, it's a very short paragraph where she just says that Yvonne tried all these different means, sort of in an incremental way. She tried first appeasing him, and then making excuses, and then being completely honest. And each time he responds the same way. It's not about how she's dressed. It's not about whether she laughs at his jokes or not. None of these things actually make the promise of romance or sex or whatever he's expecting from her. And no amount of denial of that, once he gets it into his head, is gonna make him think that she hasn't made that promise.
You're actually starting to get in the way of things I really want to do, and people I really want to do. And actually You disgust me. I want
You mean the opposite?
leave me alone.
Fun.
The trains in that film place the story in the city.
Right. It gives them information about where it could have
Yeah.
happened. I
Yeah,
mean,
and
it's
what
a
kind
huge
of
city.
yeah, and there's a certain maybe socioeconomic status associated with living close to a train. You know, in the Temper film, it's really all about an interior home life taking place at the same time as an external argument is going on. So in another home, this kind of conflict is bleeding into the psychology and the interactions of the interior domestic space.
Those stories is so dense
Yeah.
and has so many details or so many refers to so many other relations. One of the relation was the mother-daughter relation.
Oh, yeah.
And I found that also very interesting because it's also a strong, how you say, element, also
Yeah.
a strong element for Yvonne.
Yeah, and it's a strong element in all of the little tales of misogyny is how things are passed down, how ideas are passed down, or behaviors are the family structure reproduces. Yeah.
So do you always, I mean, all those persons that are being filmed, are they actors or friends, or is it a mixture?
Andre, who played Philip, he's done acting. He's an artist, primarily, and the other actors, James and Andrea, and they that was their first time acting.
I mean, I have to say, in the end, I think Bertrand and Philippe are not of interest, but the complexity of the woman character of Yvonne is already there, I think. And I think that already in Coquette, you are breaking up. You're breaking up the stereotype.
I do sympathize with Yvonne, but she is not given much personhood. None of the characters really have interests outside of what's shown in the film. She doesn't experience joy, and I think this film was supposed to be a film about stereotypes, but I think I'm interested in the future to make a film with three-dimensional characters, because then the ethics and the decision-making and the motivations become so much more complicated.